All right, good morning. Beautiful morning here in Northern California. Today we're gonna videotape installing this 40-gallon Rheem electric water heater down at the barn. As you can see over there behind me, I already have the water lines hooked up. We got earthquake straps already there because this is Northern California. Here's the tools we're gonna need. It's good if you have a multimeter, but as a minimum, an inductive tester to test to make sure the lines are cold, a 6-way screwdriver, and some needle nose. First and foremost, what you want to do is make sure you have no power. And what you do, you come over here and you check the leads to see if they're cold. And I know they're cold because I've already shut the power off. This is a 220, so it has 2 hots. One over here. Come over to your breaker panel. It's the 20 amp double pole right here. I've already got it open, so that way you're not going to get electrocuted while you're doing this. Now, if you're not trained with how to handle electrical, on a scale of 1 to 5, this is probably at least a 3, maybe a 4 for someone with limited skills. Hire a professional, especially because you're dealing with electrical, and the same for a gas water heater. Just hire someone in, best couple $100 you can spend. But I've done a lot of these. This is pretty easy for me. Okay, we got the box off the water heater. One thing I want to emphasize, this is what the old flex hose looked like that I pulled off. You can see how it's in pretty rough shape. Anodized. It's not worth trying to reuse this thing, especially because this is a well water. It gets very calcified. It's very hard water. So spend a little bit. They have them right in the aisle when you go to Home Depot. Get some new connection hoses. All right. So I'm going to put this into place now. One other thing I'd emphasize is normally you would purchase a drip pan, circular drip pan that I would insert underneath this to catch it if it leaks. This is outside down at the barn. I don't care if it leaks. It'll tell me, okay, time to get a new one. So this is one part I'm not going to show you how to install. Okay, another piece of supplies you need is Teflon tape. 1,001 purposes. You always want to make sure you wind in the direction 2, 3, 4, 5. I always do 5. This is the way it's always been. So the purpose of this, twofold. It's going to prevent leaks when you put this thing, the connection on. And as this gets all corroded over age, it acts as a lubricant, so this thing will always come off. It won't get seized. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. Don't need to videotape me on that. I got the lines connected. Just giving them a couple turns with a wrench, piece of cake. Don't want to go too tight, but you'll see once I turn the water on if you got a leak or not. So let's see if this little valve works. Oh no, this could get to be a complex project. Okay, so you see this whole valve back here. It's not looking good, probably because it's been sitting closed for a while. So I'm going to hold off on the video here. I'm going to run to Home Depot and buy me a nice quarter turn valve to substitute in place of this. Probably going to have to do a little, well, it looks like I might be able to just pull this off, shut the main water off, and thread one on, or I might just get a sharkbite and make it even easier. But I'll be back in a bit. Okay, ran down to Home Depot. Basically, this is plumbed into a shower inside the barn, so I can't pull this away to do a normal cut with a pipe cutter. So I used to use a grinder with a cutting wheel. Cut there, cut the valve off, and notice I sanded it. Well, I'm going to use a push connect, a PEX. You want to sand it and make sure it's nice and clear, nothing sharp, or nice and clean, nothing sharp, so it doesn't ruin the sealing here. And we'll be back up and running here shortly. All right, you can see in here we got a new sharkbite 3/4 inch quarter turn valve. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's attached. Water was shut off when we did that. Now it's back on. Now we're gonna hear it charging. We got no leaks. And guess what? We're starting to fill up this bad boy. We got no leaks here on this nipple, and we'll see when we turn the sink on to make sure we got nothing leaking here, and that's because of the Teflon tape. And now we're going to go into electrical. You see, this is 2 hots and 1 ground for 220 amp. I got a 20 amp double pole over there. This is a 15 amp, 15 or 18 amp. I read it before I bought it to make sure. 20 amp. A lot of times the Insta Heats now, or the Bosch and all those, want 30 amp or 40 amp or even higher. This is just a barn heater, so I'm just repurposing the same double pole that's in there. So I'm going to shut the video off, and this is basic wiring. I'm going to hook it up, and I'll get another video when it's hooked back up. Okay, I just want to show you real quick. Got the ground attached down inside. Got black to black, red to red, but in theory you could go black red here. They're both hot, but it's good for consistency. Just try and do black to black, red to red, but you got to understand what's on the other end of it. One more thing I want to tell you guys about wiring. Your wire nut should be able to hold these in together snug. Some people will put electrical tape on this as added. You don't need electrical tape. If the wire nut's doing its job, you should be able to tug and it should not move. And this liquid type 20-year-old, however old this is, flex conduit looks like do it. Put in, I got new fittings. I'm gonna redo it before I turn this thing on. All right, we're pretty much done here. You can see I got new liquid tight conduit on here. I cut the wire shorter. It was way too long. This thing was flipping all over the place. It's clean, it's tight, it's watertight. Also up here, it was an old metal one, and it was shredded apart. Actually, I'm gonna get a new cover for this. Obviously you can see a hole up there. That's not safe. It's my barn. Once I turn the power on, I'll get a new plate to cover that up so nobody can stick their hand in there. But I have water in here now. It's charged. You'll notice the new quarter turn valve, sharkbite fitting, screwed into the back of the barn. Nothing leaking, no water. It's all tight. I'm gonna go back to the circuit breaker and turn on right now. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn on the 20 amp double pole. Here we go. Let's go back to the water heater. Turn on the breaker and you can hear the gas furnace fired up. I'm testing you, kidding. Of course, there's no gas in here. We're pretty much done. I'll tighten up this earthquake strap a little later. Come back down here in a little bit. Again, no leaks. Turn the water on, make sure it's hot. It's heating up now. The tools I used, I ended up having to have this sitting around the house. I would have had to run to Home Depot for this. Had to run to Home Depot for the sharkbite quarter turn valve. I used a grinding wheel with a cutting wheel on it to cut the pipe and sand it. I used adjustable wrench. I used my nylon tape. You can see here. I used my 6-way screwdriver. And my needle nose pliers came in very, very handy because I had to twist some old ground wires in there, cut them up. And I also used a pair of wire strippers to recut and restrip off the insulation in here. But all in all, you probably would pay someone a couple $100 for this. If I had all this other stuff here, I could have done it in probably 45 minutes, but I want to get it done right and add this extra wiring in here. Hope you enjoy the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. One last thing to show you is you want to adjust the thermostat. You want to make sure the power's off, and I'll demonstrate in a second. Here's the temperature right here. I'm going to adjust it to probably 125. I don't need it any hotter than that. The lower setting's 90. Actually, I'm going to go, we don't need it crazy hot down here in the barn. I'll go right about there, between 90 and 125. But I'm going to show you in a second why, and these two cushions go on top. I'm going to show you in a second why you shut the power off. So back at the thermostat, I want to show you why you shut the power off before you do it. It's hot in here. If you don't know what you're doing, you touch something, you could electrocute yourself. So shut the power off. You hit something, just the bolts right here, it could electrocute yourself. That's it. Thank you.